It's important to understand your season in life, because when you don't understand it, you're going to walk around, you're going to drift through life and find yourself in all kinds of places where you shouldn't be. You might even reach success and then find that that success is not actually what you were looking for. Back in the day, the big thing used to be that when people reach their 50s, their 60s, they would hit a crisis of meaning when they just begin to realize, I was dreaming that one day I'll have made enough money to live this kind of life, to do this kind of thing. And then they realize, I've hit this age, I probably will never achieve my dreams. And it brought a huge crisis of meaning that was called the midlife crisis. Now today, people are hitting that crisis a lot earlier. In fact, the term people use nowadays is quarter life crisis. In their mid-20s, in their heading into their early 30s, where people find themselves in that crisis of meaning, not feeling like life doesn't make sense. Maybe they've even achieved great things at that point, but they just don't feel like it's connected. Most of the people, by the way, who go through this crisis tend to be very smart people, typically tend to be driven people, high achievers, but somehow they reached a place where they just found it's not hanging together. It's not what they expected. Perhaps they even got a dream job, and they thought, if I got this job, things will flow for me. And then they got into that job and they just found, my goodness, it's stifling my creativity. This is not what I signed for. And they just find themselves completely frustrated. Or you started your business, you left school and you're like, I don't want to work for anybody else. I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to be my own boss. And then you've realized being your own boss isn't all it's cracked up to be. Many times what it just means is that you own a job. And the problem with it, when you own the job, is when you're on leave or when you are sick, nobody pays you. So they find themselves even in more doldrums and struggle even harder than somebody who didn't enter that space. And you find that they're in a crisis of meaning. Or sometimes people find that it's like you've applied for jobs, you're getting the jobs you're getting, you're overqualified for, you feel underemployed or you're unemployed, and there's just this sense life isn't holding together. Or I've talked to people who you hoped, you pushed and pursued your career, but then you find yourself now in your 30s, you're not married, you don't have any people lined up, there's no spouse lined up, and you're lonely. And all your friends got married while you're pushing for that career, and all of a sudden you realize you're completely miserable. This is not what I signed up for. I mean, it comes in all kinds of forms. And as I've talked to different people, I just find there's so much tension around that season of 25 to 35 for many people. Now, the whole thing here is when you understand the task for your season, then you're able to sort of move away from the FOMO, the fear of missing out that is driving many of us. Because one of the biggest things that's driving this crisis many people find themselves is comparison. You look at yourself, you look at your classmates, you look at where other people have reached, you look at where you should have been by this time. And there's such a big, and then with the internet, of course, you can see every celebration. Of course, nobody ever puts their junk on the internet. We only put the nice stuff. So you can see every celebration and every holiday in Dubai. You can see all the hashtag blessed. You can see all those nice things that people are doing, and you just feel like you're missing out. And there's just this acute sense. When you understand your season, however, you're able to understand this is my race. I'm not racing against anyone else. This is who God has called me to be. This is who I've been created to be. Your shining doesn't make me shine. It doesn't diminish my own shining. It helps you be able to go through even the challenging times, knowing that there's something better or something bigger that I'm living for. And so this is one of the reasons why I say you must take time. You must invest in understanding your season right now and what task you should be working. I think it's very important to say that some people say that experience is the best teacher. I say no. Experience is the most painful teacher. The best teacher is someone else's experience. I've had the privilege of learning from other people's experience, and I've been spared a lot of pain. And my hope through the book Seasons, the Stages of a Leader's Life, is to share some of those experiences with you and help you be spared some of that pain as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've had a chance to look at the book, I'd love to hear your comments as well. Let's have this conversation.